Hey there, this is Kayla from 9CI. Today we're going to be talking about the FCC. So, what is the FCC? It is an independent government agency responsible for regulating TV, radio, and phone industries. They regulate all interstate communications as well as international communications involving the US. What they are is a group of technical and administrative individuals responsible for regulating communications. They are not a medical agency, are qualified to make policy that should be under the EPA or FDA jurisdiction. A lot of what they're currently responsible for is download and upload speeds for internet and data security, etc., etc. They're not health professionals, but they did base their recommendations on what they thought was appropriate at the time. However, I believe they should not have been the ones responsible for making safety standards for RF. Feel free to visit their website at fcc.gov. Their website's a little convoluted. I get lost on it every time. First time I looked it up, their safety regulations for SAR, specific absorption rate, were 2 watts per kilogram. The most recent time I looked it up, it was 1.6 watts per kilogram. You'll notice that they are decreasing it. This could be an indication that they know that it's set too high and they're slowly regulating it. So, according to the FCC, are there any health effects? A large number of studies have been performed over the last 2 decades to assess whether mobile phones pose potential health risk. To date, no adverse health effects have been established as being caused by mobile phone use. In regards to cell phone research, it does look like maybe the two decades is accurate, but RF research has been around for about almost 40 years now. There is a documentary regarding this. It's called Generation Zapped. You can get the gist of what they're talking about within the first 10 minutes. The FCC states there are no known health effects at rates below tissue heating. There are numerous studies stating otherwise. What I would really like to know is how many studies does it take and how long to establish a connection. So, according to the FCC, what you can do to protect yourself. Even though there is no scientific evidence currently establishing a definite link between wireless device use and cancer or other illnesses, and even though all cell phones must meet established federal standards for exposure to RF energy, some consumers are skeptical of the science and or analysis that underlies the FCC's RF exposure guidelines. Yep. The FCC does not endorse the need for these practices, but provides information on some simple steps that you can do to reduce your RF exposure energy from cell phones. So this is just using headsets or earpieces instead of using your phone directly, or to text instead of talk, obviously not while driving, and to use your cell phone as far away from your body as possible. They also suggest that younger users should limit their use, that perhaps maybe exposure is dangerous for children. You'll notice that the FCC suggests limiting your use, keeping your cell phone as far away from you as possible, and using devices that transmit at a lower frequency. It's interesting that they state this while maintaining that there are no known health effects. Also, the wording and phrasing they use sounds like a just in case, so they're covering their bottoms just in case they're considered liable. It's almost like they're admitting that there is a risk and that more research long term is required, and that the younger generation is at a greater risk due to longer exposure times. Their policies are based on older information. The older cell phones were low-power analog devices. This is obviously not what they are now. I did a quick PubMed search using the terms cell phone, RF, and health effects. It came up with greater than 200 publications. I just picked the first 3 to be random. The first one's conclusion is, clearly indicated the induction of bystander effect in cells treated with conditioned culture medium, so obvious effect on cells. The second one states, cell phone RF exposure induced hormonal and structural changes in the adrenal gland and brain tissue. Therefore, the public should be made aware and limit exposure as much as possible. So stating the exact opposite of what the FCC is concluding, perhaps maybe we should do more research on that as well. And the third was on cell phone use in adolescence, the socio-demographics and leisure activities. This would be really great if and when they do determine there is a health risk for plans of reduction use. So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them below. Subscribe to our channel. And if you'd like more information, please visit us at www.9ci.ca. Thank you.